Hello, everyone. This is Dr. RB, and I'm happy to join you this afternoon on my live here. I just came out of an executive roundtable, and I wanted to have a little bit of a conversation with some of the information that was shared, which I think it's important to discuss here live with all of you. And one of the things that we talk about when it comes to AI, and especially having this conversation with HR leaders, is the concern and the fear around using AI, and rightly so. So it's not, I don't think it's something that we need to just be light about and just jump in. I think it's something that we should consider, but also like look at all the facets around um, the different pros and cons regarding using AI. And the way that I like to use AI, because I do use it not only in my business here at Influence as well as with our clients, I look at AI as if it were a bank. So if you think about AI as a bank where you have a repository or where you fill it with things, and that's going to be very helpful when it comes time to give you information. AI is really good with analyzing large amounts of data. And when we think about AI, and I'm particularly thinking about large language models like a chat GPT or a Claude, those types of models, I'm thinking about models around large amount of information, or information, not really numerical data per se, but information that it's about verbal data, or information based on paragraphs and sentences and things like that. So, a lot of companies are starting, well, I shouldn't say a lot of companies, but there are companies that are starting or have been using AI, especially when it comes to leadership development, which is really the focal point that I'm excited about in presenting. When I talk about AI, I'm talking about using AI to help select and develop and promote high potential or emerging leaders in your organization. So if you're an HR leader in your organization, the question I always ask is, how are your emerging leaders chosen? Are they simply chosen because they've been in the company for X number of years? Or are you choosing these individuals because of the skills that they bring? Are you choosing these individuals because of the roles that they have had? So these are all different types of questions. And one of the ways that I like to look at AI, or use AI as a tool, would be to kind of analyze and assess all of that when it comes to emerging leaders. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So, for example, you have an emerging leader that has been through different types of assessments. So you could use AI by taking all these different reports of the results of these assessments for these emerging leaders, and the AI can actually analyze all that information. The analysis, I'm sorry, can be a how the information merges together, how it complements each other, or how there's variance or how there's differences in the information. So that's a way that AI can be very useful. One of the things that we discussed, and I find it's very interesting, for those of you that have had to sit in a committee, like a review committee, when you're going to promote someone, or if you're going to hire someone from the outside, and you get together and you have a review over this individual. You're going to review several different things, right? Several pieces of or types of information. Well, that review can be made more efficient, quicker with the use of AI. So that's one of the things that we discussed in today's executive roundtable. And another thing that was really brought up that was interesting was How much can we trust AI with this type of information, especially since the information is pretty new? New in the sense of using AI is pretty new when it comes to analyzing information regarding high potentials or emerging leaders. And so, I just wanted to touch upon three different areas. One of the things that I mentioned is if you are inputting verbal information or information that's not necessarily numerical or heavy on the statistics, but more verbal information into an agent, what we call an agent, which would be an AI agent or a bot. If you were to give this AI agent all this different type of data that they can analyze, you're going to get information quicker. And that could be a way that can be very helpful. So, for example, when it comes to establishing a personalized learning development program, that's something that it has already been shown that AI really excels with that. And I think that has to do with how the information is inputted into an agent or a bot, for example. And I'm just kind of thinking about, again, um, well, let me back up here a little bit. One of the things that's very important, first of all, is to be very clear in your organization what is a leader, what makes a good leader. And I always tell my clients when we're having this conversation is that leaders are very unique and different, and there's not a one size fits all. It's you can maybe have some type of understanding when you look at general leadership competencies or skills that could give you some information, but I always encourage making it more unique, making it more specific to your organization. And a way to also kind of think about that would be looking at your organization, looking at the history, looking at recent history, some challenges your organization has been through, maybe the market, what the market demands have been recently, how the organization has been challenged by those demands, how the organization has tried to meet those demands. All of that will give you information as to, okay, what leader did we need at this time? Did we have that leader? Hopefully you did. If we didn't have that leader, what was lacking? What were some of the things that a leader that we needed at this time, at this specific moment? So that would be a way of looking at. In the ideal world, if you had a list, let's say, of leadership competencies that you came up with for your organization, and of course, this would be a team effort, you would come up with a list of things that are essential and crucial for a leader to have. Then you have something objective, you have something to measure, right? And then you could use AI technology to kind of gather this information and then compare the two things. So, how does this individual that you're looking at to, be an emerging leader, to one day take over a higher leadership role, does this individual match these leadership competencies that you all came up with? It's not just some general leadership competencies that I don't know, that you can look up on a Harvard Business Review article or something like that. So you would basically use the AI to analyze larger amounts of data and then kind of bring it, analyze it, and then synthesize it in a way that is simple to kind of review. And that can be very helpful when it comes time to, thinking about how to develop this individual, or if the individual's even ready for promotion. So that's one thing. Another thing that came up today that I just wanted to share, for those of us that have been involved in the coaching space, maybe some of us have used this model where we talk about level of will, or I'll also call it motivation, and level of skill. And when you are, confronted with coaching a coachee, a lot of us tend to look at that. Okay, is this person very motivated? Do they have a lot of will to take their leadership to the next level? Do they have the skills that are required? And in the ideal scenario where you have someone that has a lot of skills and a lot of will or motivation, then as a coach, we would tend to elicit, right? Well, how about if we look at their skills look very well, and we've used AI to kind of see how their skills are, but then how do we measure will? How do we measure the motivation? And that's something where I don't think AI would do a good job unless you could quantify the different aspects of motivation into something that's information that you could feed it into an AI agent. Um, but I just think that that's something that you're just going to see, whether it's in the individual themselves, how excited are they in their task that they're performing as either a manager or a leader in that position. If we're talking about somebody that we're hopefully going to get them to a VP position, but maybe they're starting out as a director. What motivation and will are they bringing and demonstrating as part of their role? So that's something else. You could quantify that and then put that information into an AI agent. So, when I'm talking about AI, I'm really talking about an agent or a bot or some type of a repository that can go through larger amounts of data, making it more efficient, giving us information. So it's not like it's going to take the position of a leadership an HR leader, but it's going to give HR leaders information that they could consider. And so that would be something else that I would also add to that. Of course, some ethical considerations with an AI agent, especially when it comes to analyzing individuals or high potentials. That could be taken care of by assigning different, codes, or assigning a key, what they call, an API key. If any of you have worked with ChatGPT, or maybe you've worked with Zapier or Make, or doing any type of automation, a lot of the times nowadays we use different keys, and those keys are usually numbers and letters in a long string. And so that's something that you could use for identification for these individuals, that can help with privacy and collecting information that way. So that's another thing there. So, the purpose of me coming on live here now is just that it's only an hour that we run these executive roundtables, which I enjoy doing. We do them twice a month, and this hour flew by quickly. And so I just had a lot of energy, and I thought, I want to get on a live, and I want to share some of my thoughts in reaction to what came up. Every executive roundtable is different because the participants, normally HR leaders, have different needs that end up coming up. And I'm really thankful and grateful that these HR leaders that were with me today, how they were able to share, some of their needs with that. And so, if you like to participate in an executive roundtable, the next one is happening on May 30th. We really invite those in HR leadership roles or if you're an HR director, that's part of the leadership role, director level and up, director level, VP, C-suite, that type of thing. If you're an HR coordinator, or an HR, a person in HR, but you may not be a director, and you like to join, also please let me know. There should be a link when you see this live somewhere, and that link will help you to register for the next executive roundtable. The next one we're doing is the end of this month. I believe it's on the 30th, and then we have another one at the end of June. So I look forward to seeing you there. If you want to get on a call one-on-one with me, I'll also have that link available to schedule a call if you want to discuss, any AI needs relating to leadership development. That's something that I'm very passionate about and would love to discuss further with you. So that's it. It's just very short. I just wanted to kind of share these thoughts that kind of came up, and maybe start to think about, some of the considerations that we want to look at when deciding to bring AI into the HR department, if you will, and leadership development. So, thank you so much for joining me here on this live. And this is Dr. RB again, President of Influence. And it's been our pleasure that you've joined me and taken a piece of your day to share. Thank you. Bye bye.